All right. Well, welcome to the call, Tom, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be here. I know you're busy with a huge company there and keeping everything going. So today I really want to talk about business. We can talk about products. I know you're a product formulator and you've gotten awards, lots of awards, and you've got patents on hundreds of things related to product formulations and that. And as a doctor, that's products are really important. And I think a lot of people when they get involved with a company like Sisel that has such terrific products, that tends to be the focus, and everybody runs out there and they want to cure the world. They want to cure the world. And really, honestly, I mean, as a doctor, I'm going to say, I mean, I've never seen products that I can tell my patients, I can say, here, take this. And I can say, here's the results that I expect to see. I've never seen products like what we have. But when it comes down to network marketing, I think the big thing is that, the goal is with network marketing, a lot of people get in it because they need to make an extra paycheck. And in today's economy, I don't think anybody really out there in the working class world is making enough money to really put away enough money like they were, say, 4 years ago. And so that's why I thought, if we can somehow talk about where you're at as far as the CEO and president of the company, and where I'm at as a distributor, and where some of the other people in my group are, they just buy the products because they're customers. They love the products. They feel different when they take them. But then there's other people, like I said, that they're here because they need to make that extra income. If it's an extra $500 a month or $1,000 a month, or like you were talking about, I mean, holy cow, if a person could be making an extra, can you imagine making an extra $20,000 or $40,000 a month on a business that you can start part-time?
And you're right, and that it's life changing is what it is. And it sets a whole another parameter in your life that you can do that much good for your family and friends and the people around you. So let's really break this down, because you hit some great points there, and there's probably 10 hours worth of information there that we could discuss. But there's two key concepts with everybody. And a lot of times people themselves are confused about why Sisel, why network marketing. Everybody, of course, would like to make more money, but not everybody's committed to it. So you have people who want to build a business, but then are they goal oriented and they're willing to put the time and the effort into doing it? Then you have other people who are product consumers. I'll address the first, or the second actually first, that being product consumers. People are looking for dynamic health. Guess what? That is Sisel, because our products, everyone's going to say they're all based upon results, but ours truly are in the fact that we do additional testing. We have our everything we need to be compliant with the government, but we look for results. As I was just talking a minute ago about, we brought out a horse product, and I always say a lame horse won't lie. And of course, I have 10 horses, and so a formulation I developed 15 years ago, it had to work. And I had a horse that was lame and had to have it injected every 90 days. And I went a year without that. And of course, because it's results driven, it just goes up, up, up every month since we launched that product in June. But all of our human products are the same way. They're backed with real science for people who really want to find out about nutrition. Look at Fucoidan. Look at the over 2,000 studies on there. Yes, we have a patent on it. We have a patent to make it the most bioavailable form out there that your body will absorb. We've done the research and development. Why Sisel? Now, if you're a business builder, you really have to ask yourself some questions. Dozens of companies start every single month in this industry, and we all know that. And reality is, you get 3-5 years down the road, 95% of them are gone, and the others are on their way out. We're tried and tested when it comes to business, But the principles and the concepts that make Sisel such a dynamic business go back to my father and I back in the 1970s. We were involved with industrial chemicals and a real basic concept, and that is integrated supply chain management. And really what it is you control as many steps in the process so that you know from the concept to the research, the development, the trials that you do, to the production of the product, to the consumer, and in a business model, the compensation for the business builder, we control all of that. If I were a person looking to get into a business, I would want a company that is debt free. I would want a company that did their own research and development. I would want a company that had an integrated supply chain. So there's a reason why we are still doing double-digit growth over the last 3.5 years because of that reason. And I would want someone who had a dynamic compensation plan. And I would want somebody who is innovative. And each one of those, Sisel checks the box. We're not a new company. Reality is a new company is going to be out of business. And so when you come into this business, you can rest assured that we're going to be here tomorrow and the next generation is going to be here doing what we do. We have products now that 3 years ago I didn't think we would have. I have products that I'm working on for the next year and probably 2 years out. In fact, this will be probably one of our biggest years that we transform some lines of products and new products, because I have my own lab, I have my own manufacturing, I have my own compensation. I control these different aspects to where we can do what it takes to build a successful business. We have the foundation that is there for somebody who wants to join the business. You got to ask yourself, why MLM? Well, if somebody said, I want to build, and we have people in the company that are making, $40, $60, $80,000 a month, and they build it. They build it because they're goal oriented and they make a commitment. And when, something small happens, it's not an excuse for failure. It's like, well, let's get over that. Somebody told me they weren't interested. There's a product that was back ordered. I'm offended. Somebody said something, the things that typically people are looking for excuses. People who are looking for answers and are driven and can make a commitment, they can have a business that there's no rent, there's no inventory, there's no employees, there's no software systems, there's no shipping, manufacturing. We do all that. Now, because we do that, we control so many steps in the process. What can we do? We can put more money into the products. We can put more money into the compensation. And because those two are really, they go neck and neck together. We're not looking for a fad, a pet rock or something that will be out for a month or two. We're looking for the right forms of vitamins, minerals, nutrients in the forms that people like to consume them. Sports drinks, coffees, multivitamin supplements. And, in fact, about 48% of everybody in America that buys supplements buys a multivitamin. That's why I developed Encompass 360. There's nothing out there in the world that competes with it. I mean, I'm talking about antioxidant values. And if you look at the percents of RDIs on the back, you'll see 1,200 of this, 800 of that. They're all linked to specific studies that give us better brain support, cardiovascular, and so much more. They're just loaded with the studies and the research. I'm not looking to compete for shelf space, because how I advertise is through dynamic health. And because of that, we have a track record that shows that. But we definitely keep an eye to science, because science moves on 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. There's studies around the world. We've developed a very large network so that we're in tune with what's going on. I remember how excited I was in the early 90s during the Bill Clinton administration. They had mapped the human genome. And I was excited because just a few years earlier, I was up at the University of Utah and I was studying to get my degree. And they just built the genetic building over there, and I was studying genetics and everything. And They were just then saying, there's so many different things linked to genetics. Well, since that time, you think about a product like TSX, we find out what happens with mutations as we become older because of improper DNA duplication and the rise in illnesses and different problems we have because of that. But what do we know about astragaloside 4 and cycloestragonol? Dad went to China back in the 80s to study astragalus and brought back a formulation, but science wasn't to the point that they knew exactly what was in that plant to do that. Well, since then, we found out about the ingredients in TSX to where people, it's not about how many times you've gone around, the sun. It's not about years. It's about what kind of health do you have. And we can actually see a reversal by consuming that type of a product in our biological age, which is the only age that really has value to us. So Sisel is built with all the fundamentals that we have. But where maybe we lack is the fact I need a product that you could take that would give you motivation, because that's what people lack, and commitment. And right now it becomes harder and harder because we're a fast food society. We order at this window and they slingshot it to us 30 seconds later out the next window. We want it right now. But if you want to build a sustainable income that can go on, that's your business, that you don't want to have this huge investment in buildings and infrastructure and competing on Main Street America, this is the industry to be part of, to where you can build this and pass it on to your kids, and just like my father's done to me, and my boys are in the business and will continue on. But Sisel is built like no other. We're not publicly traded. What does that mean? Well, if you have to go through all the regulations with an IPO and shares, guess what? You're out another 8 to 10, maybe even 12% in cost. And so we don't have all of these different things that we have to pay for outside. Once again, integrated supply chain. We do all those things here, and this is set up in a trust to go on and on. So before you join another company, they're all going to say, this is the latest, greatest, and you got to buy it now, and you got to buy a garage full of it. Try the Sisel products, because that's really what it is. Find out, what are you looking for? Do you want to produce more nitric oxide in your body? Well, I got 2 great products for you, Sisel Sport and 4 Restore. And if you don't believe it, buy the test strips, put it in your mouth, and you'll go, holy cow, that is a lot of nitric oxide. Study nitric oxide, because as Dad would say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And every single product that I manufacture are based upon results, not just, what's the flashiest item out there right then. We were the first CBD manufacturer and processor here in Utah, because I had studied that for years before to see, what does CBD do? And I never thought would it even become legal and I could ship it out. In fact, the Department of Ag had me come up to Salt Lake with 12 other people, and we had meetings on it. What if it was ever legal to do, and how would we regulate it? And by that time, I had been investigating companies in Washington, Oregon, Colorado. Obviously, Charlotte's Web was big with epilepsy, because I knew that cannabinoids, our body's producing them anyway, but they had a remarkable effect on our brain function and our entire nervous system. And I was more interested in what it could do for people than even a product to bring out. Well, what's happened? We brought out the most broad spectrum that I've ever seen on the market. And I already had, people that I was dealing with that could produce that type of industrial hemp. So, I guess it's my passion. I love research. I love development. And there's nothing more exciting for me to see a new breakthrough in science into different types of biology, and how do we remove inflammation? How do we, extend our quality of life? And how can we reverse some of the damage that we have done? And so I'm heavily invested in that personally for my own personal interest. But then all of a sudden we make a business opportunity out of it, because we have the supply chain set up to do so. It's a very fun business. But what if you're out there and you're part of Sisel, if you're having success, you've learned many of these concepts. You have learned that don't be offended if the order's a day late or maybe even a week late in some cases. That can happen. There's some things we don't control, the FedEx and the UPSs of the world, and sometimes vendors that we buy ingredients throughout the world. Sometimes they're late getting them here, but we've weathered the COVID era storms better than any other company that I've seen. And we've had sustained growth since then, where most of those, if you look at stocks, those publicly traded, you'll see that they had a major downfall during that period. The Sizzle mission, what's exciting about it, everyone wants a new opportunity. Well, we're new every day of the week because we are looking to new science, and we have releases of new products, continually throughout the year. It used to be we would have one or two a year, but if I find ways to make a better line, different category of product, because there's so many things out there that are new and exciting that we keep bringing those to market, and those that people like, we continue with. Those that they don't, we can move those to the back burner. But there's never been a time like right now for this business with inflation, with the world economy, internationally, domestically, to have a home-based business that does not take finances away from your family. It'll take some time. This industry, one of the worst problems we have in this industry is a get rich quick. This is work. Absolutely. You got to make a commitment that Tuesday night, I've got an hour here, but more importantly, inside, you're thinking about how to network and how to expand your business. And it could be on the bus, at the airport, at the grocery store. You're walking down the aisle, you notice somebody is buying a product. And you say, you're going to buy that calcium, but let me tell you right now, that's calcium carbonate, and your body's going to absorb about 3% of it. Would you like to have 10 times better absorption in a product that also has all the cofactors so you'll absorb it? Vitamin K, vitamin D, magnesium, everything in the right ratios, because that's just ground up oyster shells. And so if you're prepared, or you see somebody is, oh, it's the big 5-0, the big 6-0, here comes the birthday, and say, yeah, those are years. That's not who you are. Genetically, you can live to be 120 or 50 is what your DNA says if you take care of it. Let me tell you why. And then also you find the people are like, boy, I sure would like to help my kids in college. Well, do you shampoo your hair? Do you have friends that are interested in weight loss? Because I have a company that has a revolutionary form of weight loss, and it's not just caffeine and accelerants. We can help burn stored fat through your system, and we can help you not have those first 3 or 4 days of, oh, I'm dieting, with advancing ketones. And there's so much out there. This is all the latest, greatest in science in just the last few years. We have the answers that people are looking for. We have the lowest cost opportunity out there to get into a business where the sky's the limit. How big do you want to go? Oh, somebody in Europe? Well, we have an office in Europe. We ship products there. Oh, somebody in Tokyo? Well, guess what? We have an office there too. Oh, you want to do business in Australia, New Zealand? Well, we send products there too. We have some real opportunities. I know, Doc, you're up there in the North Country. We're going to be looking at some bigger opportunities in Canada this year for freight rates and things like that too. That's really come along. Taiwan, that's one that we're going to be sending some new test shipments out here in the next week, because I think we have some ways to greatly reduce import and shipping costs there. So the Sizzle opportunity is really moving throughout the world. In the US, yeah, we're really gaining a lot of traction. And the people who are growing the most are people that have the least amount of technology and the least ability to travel, the Amish. They're doing millions of dollars a month in sales because of one simple thing. They have one of these called the mouth, and they do a talk and taste, and they say, hey, you try fire and iced tea. You concerned about glucose levels in your body, artificial sweeteners, artificial colors and things like that. Have I got a drink for you? It gives you energy, helps with insulin, helps with glucose, great for a diet product, tastes great, gives you energy. I mean, they start with something that simple, and they built huge amounts of business with some people who don't have the tools that we're using right now on a Zoom call and a telephone and a computer. And they're dynamic in their commitment to build their business, and they talk about it, and they're always prepared to share that opportunity. But you're really on the hunt. You're looking for people, and realize that some people are worth your time, some are not. Everybody deserves an opportunity, and so the quicker that you can meet somebody and say, that's a product consumer, I have a product that can make their life better, or there is a person who needs a business opportunity, they're just chomping at the bit. The bank's not going to loan me 150,000, and I don't want to sign that rent, for 5,000 a month, and to hire two people to help me, and I'm going to wait for someone to walk in the door. No, with Sisel, if you're at home and you want to share the message and the opportunity, because I'll guarantee you, from me, my family, you're going to have the very best quality, and your products are based on being efficacious, and they're backed by science and the world. Now, information is so readily available. Dig into fucoidan, find out about broad spectrum antioxidants, look at harmful ingredients. Maybe it's what's not in the product that's so important. If you don't want to have artificial colors and sweeteners and byproducts of ingredients, dioxanes and formaldehyde donors and estrogen mimics. Those are things the industry does not test for. They're things that I won't use, so I do. There's ingredients that look safe on a label, but I know the things that in processing that can be contained within those ingredients. So we take it to a different level with Sisel. We're very concerned about, making sure that everything's legal, but we're more important, we're really concerned about making sure everybody gets the value for the product that they're buying. Doc, what additional comments would you like me to bring up?
Tom, I was just thinking as you were talking, a lot of people, they see that I'm a doctor, I'm a chiropractor, I'm all about everything natural. And they think that I got into Sisel because of the great products. And right away, that's the initial thought. But really, I got started with Sisel. I got started with network marketing 16 years ago because I needed a way of generating an income. I had just had my motorcycle wreck. I was 16 years ago, pretty close to the day that I got released from the hospital. I had spent 2 months in a hospital bed, and I had another 6 months that I was going to be in a hospital bed or at home, and wheelchair and whatnot. They told me I might not ever walk again, and I needed to come up with a way of making an income. And that's really how I found Sisel, because I was looking for that opportunity. And and I think that's important, because when we go out and talk to people, a lot of times, I'm not gonna come up to you and say, hey Tom, boy, I've been down on my luck, my business isn't doing so well, and I mean, money isn't going to be one of those things that a lot of people are going to bring up. Sometimes you actually have to ask them. You have to say, hey Tom, are you ever looking for an opportunity?
Yeah. And absolutely. And and it is simple. I mean, I've seen people who, they work in an office, and guess what they do? They bring the coffee, and then because everybody wants to, get a cup of coffee, and well, they just happen to have the world's very best coffee and the most nutritious coffee, and so it's real easy to start a conversation with something that you're interested in. But then all of a sudden you find out, well, 30 of these people want to buy coffee from me, but 2 of them want to build a business. And pretty soon you have 3 people who have 3 people, and you're like, I'm not paying for my products anymore. What I've generated commissions, and before long, and you're having communication with them on a weekly basis, and you're supporting them, you just find that it just begins to spread and grow. Because one thing, everybody wants the best value, and everybody wants the best product. And so you get a testimony of the products, and then after that, it's like, wow, it's real easy to talk about them. I mean, you're a car guy. Some guys want to drive a Ford and they'd never touch a Shiv, and and vice versa. They become very, glued to that brand. Well, when they see the health that you have, and you talk about, just like with you, I remember a few years ago, and it'd been a few years since your accident. You walk better today than you did then, and you're not any better looking now, but you definitely move better, and I can tell you're feeling better, and and that's what it is. There's good nutrition in that. So yeah, it's an opportunity to take advantage of. If you just, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing, expecting a different result. If you're in a financial situation, you've got to take action now. And boy, Sisel is the easiest, least expensive way to do it. But on the flip side, it can have the highest returns too. Because if you have the ability to share, your experience, boy, I'll tell you what, people want to be part of that.
That's exactly it, Tom. And I always tell people the first thing they tell me is, oh, I don't want to get into sales. I don't like sales. And I tell them, I said, well, you've got a cell phone. Obviously, you're into sales. You're just on the other end of it. You've got
exactly right.
You've got a roll of tape. You're on the other end of it. Yeah, and with this, you just it's so easy because, like you said, if you find one or two people that get it.
Yeah, that's it.
And they get it, and they go out and they share it with one or two people, and they find one or two that get it. It doesn't take long.
No.
I remember when I first got started, I got started, and my first 2 weeks in the industry after I got out of the hospital, I was already in 2 weeks, I was making enough to pay for my products. And I was working from home, out of bed, laying on the couch. I couldn't even go anywhere. And it's that easy. Anybody can do it. I tell them somebody like I can do it, they can do it.
That's right. Change is scary for people. But this is about this is the lowest risk opportunity you'll ever find with the highest rewards.
That's right.
And then it gives you the time. I mean, the sad thing for me is I see a lot of these people, they get to about 20, 30,000 a month. And now I'll just manage what I have. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having more free time, but they like to spend more time on the golf course. And you think, boy, what got you to there over the last couple of years? And all of a sudden you're just staying at that level, but it's a highly rewarding, and boy, the people that you meet are fascinating and a lot of fun. Definitely.
You bet. Well, and I look at it, like from where I'm at. I mean, the reason we're doing this call today is, I reached out to you, and I'll be honest with everybody out there in Zoom land. You're listening to the call, and you're listening to this, watching Tom and I talk here. And the reason I'm doing it is because, I think that people, kind of like you said, they got to that point where they were like, okay, I'm making enough to pay for my product. I'm making an extra little bit. And COVID was hard on a lot of people. I think that a lot of people, they saw their income drop to where, they were going, well, I don't want to spend any more money. So I've got to get people to start thinking about, well, let's not spend anymore. Let's make some. Let's make some.
That's everything. Yep. You look at the other side of the coin. Absolutely.
Because on Amazon, you go buy products off of Amazon, you're spending. They don't pay you.
No, not a bit. And they want more.
And like you and I were talking about earlier, the products that you buy there, they're not really regulated to the point to where, like our products to make GMAC standards, right? AP, right?
Yep.
GMP, not GM. I'm thinking GMC, the pickup.
But GMC, right?
But
you're right.
To meet the standards of that GMP, it's not just a matter of throwing a bunch of powder into a bottle.
No, not at all. Well, the thing is, we're not looking for just a product. We're looking for the right product that twofold, that people recognize that would have a benefit for them and that people need. And so, yeah, it has to be the right thing. I mean, I'm not going to bring out a light bulb and a roll of toilet paper, you know, but things that make a difference in people's life and are things that people can build a business with. And I mean, we had a whole page testimony sent in today about individuals back, and boy, how the products have made such a huge difference. And I mean, it's life changing. That's really very rewarding for me to see that and hear that. And yeah, Sisel can change life, but you really have to look at it. You know, it's not half empty; it's half full. And then you have to do your own set of KPIs. What are your key performance indicators? Did I spend an hour a week? Did I do 2 or 3 follow-up calls? Did I sign up a person this month? And you set those things up. It doesn't have to be full time by any means, but you have to set it up and then hold yourself accountable. I didn't reach my goal. I need to do a little more, or I did a little better than my goal. Because the one good thing about it, if you do that, you're going to have success. And if that's really what you're looking for, you want to generate, and a lot of people, life changing is $500 to $1,000 a month for a lot of people, and that's definitely at the lower end. But why not? I mean,
that's right.
What a great college fund to put it on the side for your kids, or have a great family vacation once a year, or whatever you want to do. So yeah, it is one heck of an opportunity. And this industry, billions of dollars are spent every year in health and nutrition and skincare, and we're moving up the ladder with double-digit growth for the last 3.5 years. So,
well, I'm gonna end the call. I know you got to get back to work. It's 6 o'clock over, but the thing that I just want to end it with is really a challenge for everybody. If you're listening to the recording that we just made, think about the people that that might need to make an extra dollar, an extra $500 a month just to get by. And maybe somebody who wants to not just get by, but they want to improve their, so we have something. Sorry about the dog in the background, but we have something here that we can really build on. And hang on one second. My cousin's here to pick up the dog. I'm gonna put you on hold for just 2 seconds.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I didn't know that my cousin was going to come walking over. He just lives down the street from me. Anyhow, so then my dog goes crazy when he sees him. But I just wanted to say that I just want to leave everybody with a challenge that if you're listening to the call, whether you joined today, see what it could do if you just go out and talk to one new person every day, and just share the idea of the business and see what they have to say. And if you're been in Sisel for a while, revamp your business. Go out and I challenge you just to go out and talk to one new person every single day and see what it'll do.
Doc, I've got to bring up one last thing, and I know you're just thinking this and you're not saying it. And that is the simple fact that, I've been in this industry for 30 some odd years. There is one question, especially somebody new, asks when they decide to make the commitment that I'm going to invest some time and energy in building a business. Who's going to help me? Who's going to help them, Doc?
I'm going to be here anytime. All you have to do is reach out.
Absolutely. And that's what it comes down to is if you're listening to this call and somebody's reached out to you, go to them. If not, get a hold of Doc. And on the company level too, if you have organizations that are building, I'm on this call with Doc today. And you know, there's not a lot of CEOs, owners that jump on calls, but I do it because I'm passionate about this. We only have one thing in mind, and our goal is your success. Our success is tied to your success. And so we're doing everything here to build the foundation. We need you. And if we can help you, if you have a question, if you need some support, you need somebody to jump on a call and talk about a product, we want to help you. And so, Doc, you're committed to helping anybody out there, right?
Every day.
Absolutely. Well, Doc, thanks for letting me be on the call today.
I appreciate you being here, Tom, and thanks for everyone for taking the time to listen, and good luck with the hunting season.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.